At my mom's second wedding, tags on my kids read, cleaner's kid. Her new husband smirked. Your and your kids, just staff here. No chairs, plates, or place. Mom laughed. Food is for family. I pulled off the ring, grabbed my kids, and said, then we're no longer your family. Their smiles vanished, and that was only the beginning. My name is Tony. I'm 37, divorced, and a dad to 2 kids who think pancakes fix everything. I own a small cleaning company with a loud vacuum, a quieter van, and a logo I drew myself at 2 a.m. when bills were due. To my family, I'm the guy who shows up, rolls up his sleeves, and makes it go away. Older brother to no one. Only son to a mother who loves attention like other people love oxygen. Son-in-law to no one anymore. Employee to everyone who thinks family favor means free. I'm good at making messes disappear. I grew up doing it. Last month was my mom's second wedding. Big rented glamour. Gold chairs with white covers. A fake flower arch that smelled like glue. A venue that looked expensive until you noticed the chips on the baseboards. The kind of place where the staff knows which bathrooms to lock so guests won't discover the broken faucet. Mom called the wedding a fresh start. Her fiancé, Rick, called it a production. When she told me the date, I said, we'll be there. When she said, could you help with the cleaning? I said, of course. That's me. Of course. I took my kids, Jake, 9, and Lily, 6, to get little shoes that hurt and outfits they'd outgrow by the next rainstorm. I ironed my shirt on the bed because my ironing board lost a fight with a closet door years ago. I packed a plastic tub of supplies in the van, trash bags, glass cleaner, microfiber cloths, because Mom said the venue wanted extra for cleaning. And why would we pay when you have a company? We arrived through the side entrance because Mom said vendors use the side door, honey. She said it like it was helpful, like a tip, like she wasn't slotting me into a role before I even walked in. Inside, servers set out glassware. A DJ tested the speakers with the same song on loop. A coordinator with a clipboard marched like a general. I scanned the seating chart, found the fancy letters, traced them with my finger, looking for Tony or grandkids. Nothing. I told myself there was a kids chart somewhere else. I told myself Mom would sort it. I told myself I didn't need a card to feel like family. Mom swooped in with a silk robe and a cloud of hairspray. There you are, she said, kissing the air next to my face. There's a streak by the bar. The coordinator is having a fit. Just do your magic. Hi, Mom, I said. Hi, Grandma, the kid said. Hi, sweeties, she said and looked past them at the champagne. I put the tub down and did what I'm good at. Made other people stress my job. A woman with a lanyard walked up holding a roll of printed tags. These are for staff and vendors, she said briskly. She peeled off 3 and handed them to me like she was giving out raffle tickets. I looked down. Tony, cleaner. Jake, cleaner's kid. Lily, cleaner's kid. Jake frowned. Dad, why does mine say that? Before I could answer, Rick slid in smelling like beer and aftershave. He clipped Lily's tag on without asking. Gotta keep staff labeled, he said, grinning at his own joke. They're not staff, I said. They're your step-grandkids, he smirked. Today they're with you. Today you're staff. Mom appeared behind him, saw the tags, and gave a tiny laugh. It's a venue thing, she said. Don't be sensitive. Then over her shoulder, where is that florist? If she's late, I swallowed the heat rising in my throat. Where are we sitting later? I asked, so I can put the kid stuff down. She waved a hand. We'll figure it out. Can you wipe the mirrors in the bathrooms? They smear. I checked the mirrors. I checked the sinks. I checked my gut, which was telling me we had no place. 10 minutes later, I confirmed it. No chairs, no plates, no place cards. Not for my kids, not for me. I found Mom near the bar and asked again. She didn't meet my eyes. You're not on the guest list like that. She said softly, like she was telling me the weather. You're staff today. It's a rule. Food is for family. She smiled, and the smile hurt more than the words. Food is for family, she said again. And someone behind her laughed. I looked at Jake and Lily sitting on an upside-down crate by the kitchen door, swinging their legs, wearing plastic lanyards that told strangers exactly where we stood. Something in me tilted. Not a crash. A slow, sure lean toward the only door that was ever going to let me breathe. And that was just the first moment. People think explosions happen without a fuse. They don't. There's always a long, stupid rope of little sparks no one notices until it hits the powder. My fuse started when I was 15 and my dad left. Mom says he abandoned us. I remember it more complicated. He was tired. He was broke. They both screamed. He left. We stayed. The bill stayed too. I got a job at 16 cleaning a gym after hours. They paid cash. I learned fast that other people's sweat doesn't care about your homework. I'd go home, smell like disinfectant, and count tips in the dark. Mom would take some just until Friday and forget to put it back. "You're my rock," she'd say, hugging me with a hand that took the 20s. We're a team. We were a team, like a bucket and a hole are a team. At 18, I tried community college. Work, class, work, class, work. The math didn't add up. The van needed brakes. The rent went up. Mom needed a little help with the electricity. I dropped classes and picked up clients. Houses, then offices, then rentals. The company grew the way rust grows everywhere, slowly. And because something else didn't get done, Mom became my first client. She paid in compliments and guilt. "You want your own mother to pay you after I raised you?" she'd say, handing me a sandwich while I scrubbed her stove. Family is different. When Rick showed up, he brought the smell of sawdust, a stack of thin gold chains, and a voice that filled any room, whether it needed filling or not. He owns a small construction company, which is a polite way of saying he knows guys who know guys, and sometimes the money arrives. Sometimes it doesn't. The first thing he said to me was, "So, you're the maid?" He laughed like he expected me to laugh, too. Mom laughed before I could decide. Rick liked me when I was useful. He liked my van, my shop vac, my willingness to show up on short notice. He liked that I didn't ask questions about the cigarette burns on rental carpets or the mystery stains on drywall. He did not like when I said no. There was the truck. He wanted me to co-sign for the business. I said I couldn't. I've got kids. I said I can't take on that risk. Mom called that night. "I'm disappointed, Tony," she said, voice like a shut door. "Rick supports us. You know how the system treats contractors. You couldn't help. After everything I've done for you, everything she'd done. The list is longer than the receipts. She never kept. When my marriage ended, I moved into an apartment with thin walls and angry pipes. Custody split. 2 beds for kids, 1 pull-out for me. I worked days and some nights. My hands cracked in winter. My back learned new curses. Mom offered opportunities. She needed move-out cleans at Rick's Rentals. She needed weekly spruce-ups at their house. She needed me, always. And always for free or later. Later meant never. She bragged about me online. "My boy owns a business." She'd post with a picture of a sunset I didn't see because I was cleaning someone else's oven. Offline, she'd tell her sister, "He's not really career, but he's handy, good with a mop, reliable." I know because one day she but dialed me and I listened to myself shrink by inches. The wedding shuffled into planning like a deck of favor cards. "Could your guys set up chairs?" Mom texted the rental company charges extra. "Can you do a deep clean the night before?" The venue quoted $600. Highway robbery. "Could you cover the bar deposit for a week?" Rick's cash is tied up. You know how it is. I said yes to more than I should have because I wanted my kids to see me be a good son and because I am dumb about hope. When I asked where will the kids sit in the family chat, the bubble said seen and nobody typed back. I told myself the silence meant working on it. It meant we forgot. It meant anything but what it meant. The night before the wedding, I dragged 2 employees to the venue, unlocked the back, and cleaned until midnight. We scrubbed bathrooms that had bad attitudes. We polished mirrors so clear they made the room look expensive. We stacked fresh liners in every trash can. I left it better than we found it. That's what I do. In the morning, I ironed again, packed snacks for the kids, and reminded them to say please, even if no one else did. We drove to the side door, the vendor door, and got our tags. I kept telling myself small lies. They're just tags. It's just the venue. They'll pull us to a table later. Grandma loves you. Rick likes jokes. Then I saw my son reading the words cleaner's kid like they were a word problem he couldn't solve. And I felt the little lies burned down to the big one. The big lie was simple, that I could be both their cleaner and her son, and it wouldn't cost my kids anything. Where are we sitting? I asked the coordinator. She pointed with her chin. Staff room's back there. We're family, I said. She blinked like I told a joke that didn't land. Talk to the bride. I talked to the bride. Food is for family, she said and laughed. There it was, not a spark. The fuse hitting powder. 10 minutes before the ceremony, the room got loud. Laughter, clinking glasses, feels like tiny hammers on vinyl. The DJ announced something to nobody listening. My kids sat on a crate by the kitchen door, swinging their legs like patient birds on a wire. Rick came over with 2 men who looked like him at different stages of sunburn. He slapped my shoulder. After the vows, move those crates, he said. Don't block the servers. We want flow. His friend nodded at the kids. They yours. Rick laughed. Cleaners, kids. Part of the package. Package. My son flinched like the word hit his ear wrong. Take the tags off, I told Jake. Grandma said he started. Take them off, I said softer. He unclipped his. I took Lily's off myself and pocketed both lanyards. I felt the plastic edges bite my palm. Rick smirked. Security, buddy. Staff needs badges. We're not staff, I said. We're supposed to be family. Mom arrived like a hurricane, pretending to be a breeze. What's this? She asked, eyes already scanning the room for cameras. Tell them, I said. My voice surprised me. Calm, tired, done. Tell them we're family. Tell them my kids have seats. Her eyes flashed the same warning they used when I was 8 and chewed too loud. We'll talk after, she hissed. Don't ruin my day. Jake's hand slid into mine. Did we do something wrong? He whispered. No, I said. I felt something in me lock into place, like a tool clicking home. You didn't. I turned to Mom and Rick. You want me as staff? Staff gets paid and has contracts. You want me as family? Family gets seats and food and respect. What you want is free labor and cute photos. I'm done being both and getting neither. Rick rolled his eyes. It's a seating chart, not a morality play. I pulled the ring she'd given me at 18 from my pocket. She'd called it our circle. She'd said, family looks out for each other. I had believed her. If food is for family, I said, we're not your family. I set the ring on a table next to a card that read, Rick's best man. The card looked so sure of its place. Don't you dare, Mom whispered. You'll regret this. No, I said, picking up Lily and squeezing Jake's hand. I regret staying this long. We walked out through the side door we'd used to come in, because that was the only door anyone had opened for us. Behind me, Rick shouted, You and your kids are just staff here. Like he was announcing the weather. I didn't look back. The car was quiet except for the sound of Lily's shoes tapping the seat. Jake stared at the place where the lanyard had been, like his shirt might tell him what to feel. Are we in trouble? He asked finally. No, I said. We left a place that wasn't treating us right. Are we still family? Lily asked in a tiny voice. Yeah, I said. We're our own family. We got drive-through burgers and our nice clothes and ate in the car. The fries tasted like salt and relief. The kid at the window said, Nice tie. And I said, Thanks. It's new to me. Because it was. My phone buzzed like a trap bee. I let it. When the kids fell asleep at home, I scrolled. Mom, answer your phone. You embarrassed me. Mom, your tantrum ruined my photos. Mom, you need to come back and apologize before people talk. Then, the money texts. Mom, the venue added the cleaning fee. You need to cover it. That was our arrangement. Mom, we wouldn't have booked such a nice place without you. Mom, you owe us this. I stared at that line. You owe us. And a tired part of me laughed. I opened a blank doc and made a list like I was writing an estimate. Weekly cleaning at Mom's old house. 3 years unpaid. Rick's house deep clean when they moved, unpaid. Rental turnovers, 10 plus, mostly unpaid. Emergency scrub after tenant disaster, unpaid. Bar deposit for the wedding, paid by me. Venue deep clean the night before. Paid and employee time and supplies. I added numbers. It beats $600 by a lot. Monday, I asked my accountant if I could send an invoice to family. He said, you can. Whether they'll pay is another story. Then he looked at me for a long, quiet second and said, send it. If they don't pay, treat it like tuition for a class you should have taken a decade ago. So I did. Client M and Rick personal and discount. Line items dates, rates total $7,432 notes, as per previous verbal agreements and completed services. Due upon receipt. I clicked send and waited for the sirens. They came fast. Mom, what is this? An invoice for family. Rick, you got jokes, buddy. Mom, take this back. This is disgusting. You're punishing me for a misunderstanding. Me? From now on, I'm your son, not your cleaner. If you want cleaning, pay like everyone else. I'm done working for free. I'm done letting you treat my kids like props. Calls. I didn't answer. Aunt Lisa texted, your mom is crying in the bathroom. Uncle Tom, couldn't you suck it up for one day? Rick's sister, trash behavior. My sister, who lives far and keeps quiet, messaged separately. Mom says you extorted her. What happened? I told her the tags, the no seats, the sentence, food is for family. She typed nothing for a long time. Then she really said that. I said yes. She wrote, I'm sorry, and left it there. I was grateful for the space where judgment could have been. I did practical things. I removed Mom and Rick from the kids' school contact list. I checked my bank accounts for any old shared access. I told my crew, we don't take jobs from them. If they call, we're booked forever. They laughed and said, finally, work kept moving. Real clients still paid. The venue manager called me 2 days later. I heard what happened, he said carefully. You left quietly and didn't make my staff's job harder. We respect that here. We've got a contract for a post-event cleaning twice a month if you want it. I wanted it. I took it. I bought my team breakfast. Saturday, I took my kids to a diner. We got pancakes, extra syrup, extra napkins. The waitress called Lily Princess, and Lily believed her. Mid-bite. Aunt Lisa sent a photo from the wedding reception. 2 little place, settings at a kid's table. Cards that said Grandkid 1 and Grandkid 2. Plates untouched. Caption. They put these out later. Later. Not for us. For optics. Jake saw the picture and frowned. Is that our table? No, I said, locking my phone. Our table is right here. He took a giant forkful and nodded. Ours is better. It was days stretched. The family group chat cycled through guilt, anger, silence, and fresh guilt like weather. My invoice sat in their inbox like a small square truth. I sent one polite reminder. Net 14. No caps, no exclamation marks. Mom texted back, you're dead to me if you think I'm paying this. I didn't reply. I put my phone face down and helped Lily build a castle out of folded towels. Jake added a drawbridge made of a spatula. The castle fell apart and we laughed. At night, when the apartment was quiet, I could feel an old noise fading. The noise of always being on call for people who didn't mean the word family the way I do. The quiet was new. It made space for things like sleep, like thinking, like not thinking. I started to notice small changes. My back didn't hurt in the same sharp way. My mornings didn't start with texts that used like a crowbar. I ate breakfast sitting down. The kids stopped asking, are we going to Grandma's this Sunday? Because the answer was no. And the no wasn't a punishment. It was a boundary. The few people who matter showed up. Mark, my accountant, sent an email. Proud of you. My crew put a post-it on the van's dash. No free rides. My neighbor, Mrs. Grant, left a pie on our door with a note. Heard a bit. Proud you protected those babies. She spelled protected wrong. The pie was perfect. Anyway, my ex and I had a real conversation that didn't end in stress. I told her what happened. She said, I'm sorry, and meant it. She also said, I've been telling you for years. And we both laughed because she had, and I hadn't been ready. I saw Mom once in a grocery store aisle. She pretended not to see me. I didn't chase her. The day the invoice hit 30 days unpaid, I marked it right off in my system and took a breath that felt like opening a window. Not because the money didn't matter, but because I finally believed the bigger math. Paying to keep a seat at a table where your kids are not welcome is the most expensive bill you can ever carry. 3 weeks and a handful of days later, my life is smaller in all the right ways. No weekly drives to scrub a house where my kids can't touch the good cups. No pop-over texts that mean cancel your plans. No pretending the joke isn't that I am the joke. We have our own jokes now. Jake says food is for family when he passes me the ketchup, and we grin because we took the sentence that hurt us and made it ours. Lily calls any table we sit at our table, even if it's a park bench with splinters. I like the way the words feel in her mouth. Sometimes I think about the ring sitting in a dish on my dresser. I pick it up. It's heavier than it looks. I remember the day Mom gave it to me. The way she said circle and always like spells. I remember believing her. I don't anymore. Not in the way that kept me small. If there's a moral, it's simple enough to fit on a post-it. You don't owe anyone your labor, money, or silence just because they share your blood. People show you the fine print when they think you won't read it. Mom showed me mine printed on a cheap lanyard. Cleaner's kid. Rick, read the clause out loud. You and your kids are just staff here. I read it finally. Then I wrote my own. My contract says my kids eat first. My time has value. My boundaries aren't negotiable. Tables we sit at are ours because we're at them. If you can't offer a chair, I can offer a door. Will I ever speak to Mom again? Maybe. People change sometimes. The only way they change is when you stop making it easy not to. If she calls me and says, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I hurt you and your kids. I'm going to do better. I'll listen. If she says you owe me, I'll hang up. In the meantime, I have pancakes to flip and towels to fold with small hands that turn everything into forts. I have a business to run for clients who sign checks with my name on them. I have a life where I'm not a prop in someone else's production. Last night, Lily fell asleep on my arm during a movie. Jake woke me up at the credits and said, Dad, you were snoring. I told him that was impossible, then did a dramatic fake snore until he snorted milk out his nose. He laughed so hard he hiccuped. Later, loading the dishwasher, I thought about the side door at the venue, the one labeled vendors. We entered through it and left through it. I used to think that meant we were less. Now I think it meant we knew the way out. We have our own door now, our own table, our own ring if we want one. 3 people, 2 kids, and a guy with tired hands who finally learned he's more than a mop. Food is for family. So is respect. So is peace. So is a paper plate with syrup on it. At 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, when homework is done and the living room looks like a toy store exploded and nobody cares. That's the ending in the beginning. I'm not waiting in the back anymore. I'm not wearing someone else's tag. I'm not asking if there's a place for us. There is. We made it.